Hello everyone, it's my moving day and we are finally moving to our first home and a new garden, which means a bit of good news and bad news. Good news, it's obviously very exciting starting on a blank slate. Bad news, all the hard work that I've put in over about 3 years is either going to have to go along in some way or it's going to have to stay behind to be enjoyed by the next tenants. So I wanted to show you how I'm actually going to be moving a lot of this garden with us. It definitely is going to mean multiple trips in a big van. And I've decided, rather than trying to be too sentimental about every single plant, to really be selective of those that I treasure and those that I feel will do well in its new space. So these would include a very big rose, a few shrubs, perhaps a perennial here and there, but it's really about deciding what matters and perhaps seeing it as a new challenge rather than holding on to the past. So come on this journey with me as I show you how I'm getting on with this garden and how I'm actually in a very cool position to be moving a garden from one place to another. And so it's late spring here in the UK, not the ideal time to be digging up established plants at all. The weather is warming, and with some winds prevailing and hot sunshine, it can be a little bit of a bad time to be moving plants. I'm just giving you a bit of an overview of the garden here as it is. Quite untidy because we've already started moving some things. But yes, because so much of it is established, I'm having to be very selective and I'm going to choose quite wisely which plants I take, and then I will talk about how to best transport them, how to keep them happy until they can be placed in their new and hopefully final position. A big priority for me is this wonderful, wonderful English rose. It's one of my favorite. It's called Gabriel Oak, a really stunning pink, fragrant rose. I cannot bear the thought of leaving it behind. And so, as you can see, it is very close to flowering. It's in its final bud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my utmost to not give it any idea that it has been moved. So I'll be digging it up very carefully and placing it in a big pot, after which I'll be giving it a good drink and keeping it in a more shaded position for a couple of days, just so that it adjusts to the disturbance. I have my gloves on, I have a spade handy. The soil is pretty damp from the rain that we've had over the past day or two. So this row should be good to go, and I'm going to hopefully not let it know that it's been moved, but that is going to be a tall ask. It's budging, but I'm going to try and go as deep as I can so as to really try and get as many roots as possible, because you can see it is pretty heavy on the foliage. And so you obviously want to try and get an equal ratio of root to leaves, just so that the plant doesn't transpire and lose water too quickly. One of the things I could do, which might be a good idea, is to actually prune the rows quite a bit so that all that focus goes again into root growth rather than flowering. But I'm going to take a big chance and hope that the pot I give it and the compost I give it and the amount of attention and water I give it in the next few weeks will be sufficient for it to really just grow away as if it were in this soil the whole season. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a 3-year-old fairly mature rose bush dug up. I've definitely broken a lot of roots. I've definitely not convinced myself of the fact that it doesn't know it's being moved. It might sulk, but let's see. So into a pot it goes. Right. So I have here a big pot, quite a sizable pot. I've part filled it with some garden compost. What I'm going to do is mix this compost with some mature plant potting mix. So this contains a formula known as John Innes. Just it gives it a bit more rigidity, more solidity, a bit more dampness, water retention, rather than the ordinary multi-purpose compost or potting compost, which is designed for pots, which is very airy, which is very fluffy, which is good for drainage, and just really allows those roots to establish. I'll be mixing a bit of each. In no particular ratio, I'm just really trying to get the rose in as quickly as I can, just so that it doesn't shock too much when being dug up, as I've just done. So yeah, in it goes. Try and tuck those roots in as best you can. This obviously won't be its final resting place, by no means, but it is just to get it into a van and to get it transported to its next home. So as you can see, I've put it in quite nicely, and all I'm going to do now is just backfill with some more multi-purpose compost mix or potting mix, or however you like to call it, and then just firm it in and really give it a good soak. And although I'm demonstrating this on a rose, these principles will apply if you are ever moving homes, or perhaps you're not doing something quite as drastic. You're simply moving plants or transplanting plants, is to dig them up with as much or as many roots as possible, to try not to do it in spring or summer. If you can, reserve it for very early spring or late winter even, and again in autumn, as these are the months in which root growth is prioritized rather than above ground growth, and certainly no flowers at that time. So this is arguably the worst time ever to do so, but I have no choice, and I really do want to take this rose with me. And this is the fun of this channel. So if you like content like this, please do consider subscribing. And if you're interested to see how the new garden unfolds, please subscribe as well, because I'll be keeping you updated very, very regularly. And I'll certainly be referring to this rose a lot. Perhaps we can call it Gabby, because it is a Gabriel oak. So a Gabby or a Gabriel, let me know in the comments which you prefer. Anyway, get it in, get it planted, and get it watered, and get it out of the sun. I think those are the main points and the main areas in which to focus the moment. I've scored some extras. I've got some Dutch irises as well, which may or may not survive, so we'll pop them in. Give it a good shake, and just make sure the compost firms down quite nicely. And again, this isn't going to be its permanent home. This is really just an interim pot and an interim situation. I might prop it up with a bit of a bamboo stick just so that it doesn't fall over while traveling, but I'll see how sturdy it feels the moment I water it in. Water, as I said, give it a really good drink so that those roots can soak up as much moisture as possible. You can see the wind is blowing a lot today, so even more reason why to water well, because otherwise the plant will just dehydrate very quickly. And there you go, well watered and hopefully ready to move on to the new house. I'll continue in a similar fashion with some of my other plants. I won't bore you with all of those. I will just give you an update along the way. And so far I have another lovely shrub called Corydalis. So it's a lovely blue flowering shrub. And also this heuchera, which is just an amazing color, deep burgundy, almost maroon, even brown. And next to it, just a little piece of a a bog-loving plant called a Filipendula rubra. So yes, a combination of shrubs, obviously the rose, which I've placed in the shade, as you can see back there, and then a few other perennials. And so it's all a lot of fun, but also daunting. Of course, I would just like to add, when moving homes, try and be mindful of whoever's moving in next. You don't want to leave them a barren landscape. So be selective, but also be kind to anyone moving in after you, new owners or new rental tenants. Be considerate, and hopefully, whatever you leave behind, as much as I have here, I'm hoping I will inspire them to take up gardening and to look after nature as best they can. Please do let me know in the comments if you've ever had to move your whole garden, what you've done, what you haven't done, and anything else that you've learned along the way. I'll see you in the next video very shortly. Bye for now.